This is Natalie with A Fizz Journey. I'm actually doing kind of a big project today. I have my oils. This is kind of backwards, but this is already mixed together. I'm doing a 4-in-1 type thing, but I'm going to separate out into the 4 videos. So the first one I'm going to do is the raspberry jam, and I'm using the leaf lard. And when I did a batch of this already, not this fragrance, but the leaf lard really slows down trace. So I felt pretty comfortable doing a much larger batch with this. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I just brought this barely to a mix, and then I'll mix it more once I divide each one out. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and mix the lye into the oils now. And in here is the lye mixture, and it's kind of a tea colored. And what this is hollyhock and rose water that I did an infusion with, and it was a lovely shade of pink, kind of a purpley pink. It was really pretty. And then when I add the lye to it, I did freeze it so to not scorch it, so I froze it. And then when I added the lye, it turned almost a neon orange, but then it toned down a bit. And I used this last summer, and it did not discolor the soap any. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this, and then we'll divide it out. Raspberry jam, which is part of the Farmer's Market collection, and I'm going to do kind of a layered look with different shades of pink, and then I'm going to put a little bit of gold mica in between each layer. So I went ahead and weighed this out. I'm going to mix it up a little bit more because I just brought it barely to emulsification. And I'll mix that just a little bit more. So I have, sorry, I'm talking to myself. I'm going to measure out my fragrances, and I need 2 ounces of fragrance oil, and the raspberry jam is 1.75. That's what's on the bottle, but they oftentimes overfill their bottles, which is nice, which is awesome. So we're at 1.94, and I'm just going to put a little tiny splash of cranberry chutney in it to even that out. This is very sweet, and it's not supposed to discolor, it's not supposed to accelerate. Actually, I lied. It's supposed to discolor to tan. So, and that was right at 2.05 ounces. So I'm going to actually throw in some titanium dioxide to try to combat that discoloration. So I did not need that one. Get that out of the way. Hand mix this in. So I'm going to do 5 layers, and that'll be about, with the fragrance oil, it'll be about 10 ounces for each layer. It does smell very good. We're back. It's actually been a few days. I had to go out of town for the weekend, so I didn't have time to get these cut, but they're still soft enough where I can do that. So this was the raspberry jam, and you can see I do have the good layers through there. I haven't cut it, so we'll have the pencil line, the mica line. So I'm going to go ahead and trim up the top, and then we'll take the mat off the bottom, cut off the ends, and then see what the inside looks like. So every one of these should have a nice crisp line, I'm hoping. There we go. And see, I still kept some of that lighter colored soap. Now remember, the batter was still a little bit fluid due to the leaf lard, so I didn't get as crisp with the lines as I wanted. But since I had, I was doing that 4 batches of soap, I didn't really have a lot of time to wait and super blend each layer. And those little bubbles you're seeing, those are not harmful. You can actually get those quite often when you are using a wire cutter. So if you don't like that look, then you can cut with a knife and that will keep them from happening. So there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the sides and stamp them, and then we'll come back for a final look when they're ready to go.